Okay, let's get this over with. Let's do this thing.
We've got to cut through the noise.
All right. For those of you who are not familiar with what you've just got yourself into, you're in for a classic Hollywood pandering cringe fest. The I Take Responsibility organization released a PSA with, can we call that a PSA? I'm not sure. It's going to get really weird in here in just a second. We're going to watch a bunch of out-of-touch Hollywood elite pretend like they're not, and also seemingly to admit that they're somewhat racist. I'm weirded out. I've watched some clips of this, but I haven't watched the whole thing. So this is going to be really interesting. I don't know if it's going to be good or bad or a little bit of both, but we'll see. I'm sure there's going to be some bumper sticker slogans in here. Make sure that you're subscribed before we get into this. Make sure you have all notifications turned on so you don't miss next time that we upload. All right. Let us commence. Commence the cringe, sir.
I take responsibility.
I take responsibility.
Aaron Paul.
I take responsibility.
He's got a low voice. I didn't know his voice was that. I never heard him talk like that. There's no way. I didn't hear him talk like that on Breaking Bad. You know what? I think I can do better. I'm going to try to do better. You ready? Here we go. Lights, please. And camera. I take responsibility. My voice doesn't go that low. He's a beast. But, you know, he's in this video, so, you know, you take what you can get. Okay. Let's continue here. Before we do, let me just point this out. I know I said I was going to watch the video. I'm probably just going to end up making fun of the whole thing. So, you know, deal with that. And have you ever seen a genuine person do the mummy? What's with the mummy? What's it? I take responsibility. That's so Hollywood. It doesn't look, it comes across really disingenuous. All right, here we go.
I take responsibility for every unchecked moment.
For every time it was easier to ignore than to call it out for what it was.
Every not so funny joke. Every unfair stereotype.
Every blatant
This just lets you know how out of touch these people are. Every not so funny stereotype? Unfair stereotypes? Unfair jokes? Oh, you mean stereotypes that your movies help indoctrinate? I don't know, white chicks? Stereotypes? I mean, how do you expect us to take you seriously? And didn't you know that slightly racist jokes are what led to George Floyd being murdered on the streets? What are you going to tell me next? That yo mama's so fat jokes are what led to obesity? Yeah, you remember those jokes you used to tell in high school? That's why America's fat. But I thought we weren't supposed to be ashamed of fatness. I'm confused. I can't keep up. Let's continue.
injustice, no matter how big or small.
Every time I remained silent.
Every time I explained away police brutality. Or turned a blind eye.
This is why this is weird, because they're picking these things that are not an everyday occurrence. Maybe it's just me. I don't find myself explaining away police brutality several times a day. It's like, how often are these people experiencing extreme racism?
I take responsibility.
Oh.
Black people are being slaughtered in the streets killed in their own homes. These are our brothers and sisters,
Our friends, our family. We are done watching them die. We are no longer bystanders. We will not be idle. Enough is enough.
I will no longer allow an unchecked moment. I will no longer allow racist, hurtful words, jokes, stereotypes, no matter how big or small, to be uttered in my presence.
It's not funny what he said. It's just funny the way he said it. To be uttered in my presence? It's just... What do you think you are? Who do you think you are? I would like to, I mean, I've rarely come across blatantly racist things being said out in the open. I gotta be honest. It's not an everyday occurrence for me. But I'd like to think that if it were to happen today or tomorrow or any day in the future, that I would have the gall to speak up about it. I don't need to be told by the bald guy that that's wrong. I wasn't a racist before this video. I'm not going to be a racist after this video. I don't need you to tell me how to not racism. Who are these people? I don't know who most of these people are. Maybe I'm out of touch.
I will not turn a blind eye. Going for a jog should not be a death sentence. Sleeping in your own home should not be a death sentence.
Playing video games with your nephew should not be a death sentence.
Shopping in a store should not be a death sentence. Business as usual should not be life-threatening. I stand against hate.
I stand against hate.
I stand against hate.
Me too.
I stand against hate.
I will stand against hate in love. I will make my presence known.
And killer cops must be prosecuted. They are murderers. We can turn the tide. It is time to take responsibility.
Look at that eyebrow raise. I can't. That's what I get for trying to talk like Aaron Paul. My voice cracks. Did you see that eyebrow raise? That was epic. It's time to take responsibility. He's got a nice voice.
Call out hate. Step up and take action.
Okay, that's it. I'm not sure what the argument is here. Honestly, I'm a little confused by it. Because the cops who were directly responsible for George Floyd's death, they're going to go to prison. They're actually talking about upping the main guy's charge to first degree instead of second. I think they are being punished. We are taking this seriously. The George Floyd video was the first thing that I've seen nationwide. Everybody was horrified at this. You know, usually we get some type of, well, he said, she said, and kind of two sides of the argument. But everybody was on the same page. Everybody was like, yeah, that guy sucks. That was actually really terrible. So I'm not sure how we could take more responsibility. You know, besides calling out blatantly racist things and not explaining away police brutality. Do not do it. I know it's tempting with how much that occurs in your life, but do not do it. Okay, we've got a website. They're sending us to itakeresponsibility.organization. Here, let me pull that up real quick. I take responsibility. Oh, there it is. Okay. I gotta be honest, this looks kind of weird. It's a little more confusing than the video. I take responsibility for ... I apologize for the sound of freedom in the background. I live close to an airbase. Get over it. Okay. I take responsibility for turning a blind eye to racism. Okay. I take responsibility for making racist jokes. What are they getting here? What's the goal? Are they just trying to get people to pledge at being a racist? There it is. They can't get over people explaining away police brutality. And just to be clear here, I think we do have a police brutality issue. I'm not totally convinced right now that it's because of racism, but I am convinced that we need some type of reform on the way that policing is done in this country. Now, I don't want to defund them. That's pretty dumb. I kind of want to, train them a little better and raise their training expenses and raise all of their equipment expenses so that they can be properly prepared. So I don't know. I mean, so their tasers don't get ripped off of their belts so easily, and somebody ends up dying that didn't need to die. I take responsibility for saying racism doesn't exist. Who came up with that one? That's that meme where somebody came up with that idea. They need to get tossed out of the window. They need to be gone. That was a terrible. Who says racism doesn't exist? That's almost as bad as the flat earth people. Explaining away systemic racism. There's a lot of explaining here. Denying white privilege exists. Oh, I get this. This is just a bunch of white guilt here. That's why they're all white. I get it. Not educating myself on racism. Interesting, that's a point, because they didn't bring up any statistics in that entire video. Not one. It was all feelings. It wasn't educating at all. If you're going to make a video and then have people pledge their racism by saying they didn't educate themselves on racism, then you should actually educate yourself on racism before you make the video. Just an idea. My own implicit bias against black people. Yeah, that's racism. If you click that one, the FBI they're going to track your computer. They're going to be knocking down your door in about 10 seconds. So let me click off this one because I don't want to have the FBI showing up. Saying I don't see color. I've never heard that one before. And is that a bad thing? Let's think about this. Is it bad to say I don't see the color of someone's skin? I see them as a person. Is that racist now? Is the opposite of racism racism? What is going on? All right, and to make it better, today I will do what? Demand for police accountability? Support organizations on the front lines? Donate to families affected. There's one more. These aren't bad things, to be honest. Mobilizing vote. There it is. There it is. I knew there was a slightly Orange Man bad vibe just in that whole video. It was just thinking of Trump and his racist. He's such a racist. We just can't find any evidence of it. There it is. Mobilize voting efforts. We want mail-in voting. Because that's been shown to not have fraudulent activity. There's probably a proper way to do it. And it probably isn't when we're dealing with riots and a worldwide pandemic. Let's just say that. This is weird, honestly. Do we have to pledge our racism to get in to the... Oh, skip the pledge and go... They even call it a pledge. They're having you pledge your racism. What is this? This is weird. Let's see what they got on their website. It's time to take responsibility. We cannot sit idle, blah, blah, blah. There's the video. I don't need to see that again. Oh, that's it. That's it. Use this hashtag and share us on Twitter, Facebook, and email. We're going to take down racism with this hashtag. This is almost as bad as the black tiles. That was weird. You remember that when people were standing in solidarity and giving the black people a voice, and by doing that they were clogging up your news feed with black tiles. Somehow that was helping not as much traffic on the social medias. This website is very minimal. That's what they want right there. I think that's the big ticket. They're trying to get some legislation out about mail-in voting. But the important news is that we made it. We made it, my friend. We stood here at the beginning, not sure if we're going to make it through the entire video. And cringy as it was, we've now seen each other to the other end. And now, I must bid you adieu, because that was very exhausting. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I, for one, am not going to be pledging my racism on their website because, well, you know, I'm not a racist. And I don't need you to tell me not to be. Thank you. Goodbye. See you later, guys. Thanks for watching till the end of the video. I really appreciate it. I joke around a lot, do a lot of stupid things, but really, it means a lot. You can watch any of these other videos popping up and subscribe if you haven't yet. It means a ton. Thanks again.